Hey guys, welcome back to another episode. Thanks for tuning back in. I want to say thanks to all of you that have subscribed to the channel. We just had a great giveaway for our 5,000 plus subscribers. We're on our way to 10,000. So guys, if you haven't subscribed to the channel, please hit that subscribe button. It gets you entered into my monthly giveaways. And you know, if you watch the videos on a regular basis, there's no reason not to. I also want to say, if you want to support the channel, go to my description, go to the realshot.com link and do your tackle shopping there. That supports me, supports a local tackle shop, and you can get a discount of 10% off if you use the coupon code at checkout, Stefan10. So all, you know, you're a winner, I'm a winner, and the bait shop's a winner. So guys, if you want to support the channel, go to therealshot.com, buy your tackle there, and use the discount code Stefan10. Today, I want to talk about a topic that I think is somewhat controversial, just kind of depends on the angler. I want to tell you guys what my process is when it comes to drag. You know, I've had a lot of people ask me specifically, how do I set the drag on my reels? How do I change it based on bait type? And what's the correct way to go about doing it? So I've got a couple of things. First off, I want to state that I think the drag is an extremely essential part of our fishing equipment. There are a lot of people out there that don't like to utilize drag, whether it's a spinning reel or a bait casting reel. They either want a back reel with a spinning reel, or they want to just free spool them with a bait casting reel. I don't know that there's a right or wrong approach to that. I think it comes down to what you feel most comfortable with. If you like to back reel with your spinning reel, then back reel. If you like to use use your thumb and free spool fish with a bait casting reel, go for it. It just comes down to what you feel most comfortable with, so that when you have a big fish on, you can quickly go into, you know, free spooling or relying on your drag. Either way, you're going to be able to catch that fish because you properly played them during the battle. Now, when it comes to setting drag, though, that's a little bit different. You know, you can set your drag right or wrong, and that's going to prevent you from catching a fish. And really, it doesn't matter, you know, if you free spool or back reel or rely on your drag, if you've got your drag set wrong anyways. So there's a couple of ways that I like to go about doing this. It really just depends on the reel I'm using. And it might sound like I'm contradicting myself, but this is how I like to do it, and I think that this is the best approach. So if I'm using a bait casting reel, right? So I've got my bait casting reel here. Regardless of what bait I have on, I'm going to tighten my drag as tight as it goes. And the reason I do that is because I want to be able to get the hook set, get the hook set into the fish from no matter where I'm at. If I made a long cast, I want no line slippage when I set the hook if my bait is 60, 70, 80 feet away from the boat. If I'm flipping into heavy cover, 15, 20 feet away from the boat, I still want to be able to hammer that fish and turn them and get them out of wherever that cover is as fast as possible. You set the hook and you have some line slippage and that fish gets under a log, chances are you're going to lose that fish because you didn't get the hook drilled into the fish's mouth, and that fish got some line on you and was able to get around a branch or get back into the cover, which makes it, you know, a lot harder for you to land that fish. So no matter what I'm doing with a bait caster, I've got my drag set all the way tight. Now, if you do this, you got to be aware that your drag is set tight. So if, say I'm fishing a spinnerbait and I've got that coming to the boat, when I'm reeling it, when that bait is right next to the boat, I'd like to stop my bait every time I'm next to the boat, whether it's crankbait, spinnerbait. Before I lift that bait up out of the water, I like to stop it. But when I do that, I'm aware of the fact that I'm stopping it, and my chances of getting bit have increased. Well, if I set the hook and it's a big fish, I have to be aware that I need to, you know, either rely on my drag or rely on free spooling. Now, because I set my drag super tight, I like to use a, you know, free spool to fish with my thumb on my bait casters. I don't like to be battling the fish and adjusting my drag while I'm fighting the fish with a bait casting reel. I feel like it's a lot harder to set your drag properly during a battle. You know, it's either like you're super tight or you loosen it and all of a sudden your line, you know, your rod goes a little bit limp because of the fact that your drag loosened significantly. So I do not like to use the drag on my bait casting reel. I like to tighten it down, hammer the fish as hard as I can, and then while I'm battling the fish, determine whether I need to engage the free spool with my thumb or if I think I can battle the fish. Now, the other aspect with a bait casting reel is the fact that I'm throwing primarily 15-pound tests or heavier, so I'm really not that worried about a fish breaking me off. I'm more concerned with a fish pulling the hook out, especially with treble hooks. So again, guys, you have to be aware of the bait that you're using, the line that you're using, and you know what the fish is doing during that battle. If you've got a big fish on, or you've got, you know, a 2.5-pound smallmouth that thinks he's a 5-pounder, you just need to be aware of what that fish is going to do and quickly go into free spool if that's what you want to do. I do not like fiddling with drags on bait casters during the battle. I think it can lead to error and take my mind off what the fish is doing and how I'm fighting the fish. Now, that's my bait caster. I'm kind of completely opposite when it comes to spinning reels. With a spinning reel, I rely heavily, solely on the device's drag system, which is one reason I've said for years, you have to have a reel that's got a great drag system. In my opinion, the Abu Garcia reels are fantastic. I've had very, very little issues with them in all of the years that I've been using them. And I think the drag works phenomenally well, and I can rely on it. Now, the thing with the drag on a spinning reel, and to me, this is different than a bait caster. When I'm fighting a fish, first off, I'm usually not horsing that fish in like I potentially might be with a bait casting reel. I'm playing the fish out, and regardless of whether the fish is under the boat or 100 feet away, I can adjust that drag easily, and I know, because I'm familiar with my reels, you know, how many clicks it will take to adjust the drag appropriately in the manner that I want to adjust for the fish that I'm fighting. You just have to be aware, you know, of how many clicks it takes. Don't just start turning it. But I know if I loosen it 3-4 clicks, that's probably all I need to do. But again, I'm pretty much the same way with my spinning reel as my bait caster when it comes to adjusting it before I get a bite. I have it locked down pretty good, and I do that just because I want to be able to drive the hook home. My spinning reels, for the most part, are medium light actions. You know, I'm using 10-pound braid with a 6 or 8-pound fluorocarbon leader for the most part, and in that case, you know, it's not like I'm drilling them with 15 or 20-pound tests. You know, I've got a light rod, you know, a light line, and you're not getting the hook home great. So I like to have my drag set tight and then adjust during the fight with the spinning reel, or with the reel itself. I do not like the back reel. You know, again, that's something I don't feel comfortable with. I just feel like it allows there to be tension taken off the rod. If the fish makes a drastic move back towards me and I'm back reeling, at that point, my rod has gone limp, the pressure is taken off the hook, and I think you can lose fish. I would much rather rely on my drag system because I have complete confidence in my Abu Garcia reels. If you do not have confidence in your spinning reel drag, then maybe you want to go the other way and back reel them. But guys, the drag for me is all about having it tight and adjusting during the fight. I do not change my drag settings based on lure choice. I have it pretty much pegged down as tight as it can go so that I make sure I get the hook home. But I'm aware of it, and I quickly make the adjustments. The last thing I want to point out is, especially with bait casting reels, guys, if you're locking your drag all the way down and there's still line slippage, you need to check the drag washers. They're probably worn out, and have those replaced. You know, I was fishing with my dad this past weekend. He set the hook on a couple of fish and missed them both because during the fight, his drag was going out. So I said, Dad, lock your drag down. He's like, it's as tight as it goes. Well, the reel is probably a 16, 17-year-old reel. The drag washers are worn out and they need to be replaced. So if you are locking your drag all the way tight and you're still having line slippage, you probably need to replace the drag washers. Just a little tip for you guys. Anyways, I hope this was helpful. You know, I hope you can learn a few things from it. Again, just because I do it this way doesn't mean you have to do it this way. This is how I do it, and I'm explaining why I do it in this manner and why it works for me. But I hope you enjoyed the video. Hit the like button if you did. Share it on your social media pages. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. We got tips coming out every day. Thanks for watching.